Superintendent Chalmers. Welcome. Come on in, come on in. I was just about to sit down for lunch. And I must admit, dinner isn't quite ready yet, but I do have a little something to offer you while we wait. I've got a sassafras dish in the oven that's been simmering all day. It's a real treat, I tell you. So, oh, and would you care for a drink to pass the time? I got some iced tea brewed to perfection. Vangoatt. What on earth is he up to now? Nematodes, you say? Well, I suppose they'd have a hard time getting a foothold up here. It's above water, after all. I suppose they tried to stage an off-Broadway revival of Kinky Boots, only to find that the Nematodes just weren't cut out for the role of Lola. But they're not the only ones who might be in trouble. I hope those poor nematodes made it back to the safety of their underground home. Well, let's not dwell on that. Shall we sit down and enjoy our meal while it's still hot?
Holy fucking hell! My sassafras burnt to a crisp. How the fuck did this happen? I let this happen. Again. I can't believe it. I've got a goddamn culinary disaster on my hands. I could strangle that Vangoatt for sending those nematodes to eat my fucking house. And now they're dead because it's above water. What kind of twisted scheme is that? I suppose I should be grateful that they didn't make it into my kitchen. But still, this is a disaster. What am I going to do now? I'll have to make a run to the store and see if I can salvage this meal. And I'll find a way to get back at Vangoatt for this. This isn't over. Vangoatt and this burnt sassafras. I've got a lot to take care of, and I'm not in the mood for any of it. The burnt sassafras. Culinary catastrophe. But wait, what's this I see outside the window? But how to get it? I've got a devilish plan. I'll climb out the window and make a dash for it. Rabicata. A Portuguese dessert made of fried bread soaked in syrup. I'll have to find a way to prepare it that will do justice to the dish. But first, I've got to make it back in through the window without being seen. Vangoatt sent those nematodes to eat my house, but they perished trying to do so. I wonder if he's up to anything else. I suppose he thought they'd be able to burrow through the walls like they do in the soil. But above water, poor nematodes. I'll have to be careful. I'll show Vangoatt that I'm not to be trifled with. This rabicata will be the dish that saves the day. Oh, Chalmers, I didn't hear you come in. I was just airing out the kitchen. Airing out the kitchen. I see smoke coming from the window. Is everything all right? Yes, of course. I'm just making a steamed version of sassafras. The smoke, you see, is just steam. Steam. That looks like smoke to me. Are you sure you're not burning something? I assure you, Chalmers, it's just steam. Vangoatt sent some nematodes to eat my house, but as it is above water, they perished trying to do so. I'm just trying to make the best of a bad situation. I see. Well, if you're sure it's just steam, I'll let it be. But if it's not, you know I'll have to take action. Of course, Chalmers. I appreciate your understanding. I'll get this under control. I present to you, my dear Chalmers, a dish I like to call Portuguese-style bread soaked in syrup. Rabanana. I must say, Skinner, I prefer this to sassafras. Well, you see, I had a bit of a mishap with the sassafras. Vangoatt sent some nematodes to eat my house, but as it is above water, they perished trying to do so.
I see. Well, it seems that your nematode problem has taken care of itself.
Indeed, it has. But I've got a new plan for getting back at Vangoatt. This Robinata will be the first step.
I hope you're careful, Skinner. I wouldn't want to see you get into any more trouble. Skinner, there's a fire in the kitchen.
Oh, that's just a blofeld. It's a culinary technique, you see.
How on earth could that happen? How on earth could that happen?
Well, it's a bit of a kitchen experiment gone awry. Vangoatt sent some nematodes to eat my house, but as it is above water, they perished trying to do so.
I see. So you're saying these nematodes somehow managed to turn into a fire?
No, of course not. I'm saying blofeld is a controlled fire used in cooking. But I'll admit, this one got a bit out of hand.
I'm not sure I believe you, Skinner. I think you should let me take a look.
There are some confidential matters at play here. Well, Chalmers, I hope you enjoyed the meal. I'm afraid the sassafras didn't quite turn out as planned.
Indeed, it didn't taste like sassafras. I must admit, I'm a bit puzzled.
Ah, well, it's a bit of a kitchen experiment gone awry. Vangoatt sent some nematodes to eat my house, but as it is above water, they perished trying to do so.
I see. So you're saying these nematodes somehow managed to turn into a fire?
No, of course not. I'm saying a blofeld is a controlled fire used in cooking. But I'll admit, this one got a bit out of hand.
I'm not sure I believe you, Skinner. I suppose I'll take your word for it. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Chalmers. I hope we can catch up again soon. And I'll make sure to have the sassafras just right next time. Oh, I do believe that's Vangoatt at the door. I'll be right back.
Skinner exits the scene. The audience gasp.